the top 5 things we have in common, even if we don't realize it. Hello and welcome to the podcast. My name is Paul Drake. My phone decided to go off then. How are you all doing? I hope you're all well. I hope that you are enjoying everything that you could possibly enjoy at this moment in time. Today's episode is about how I've discovered that just by connecting with a few people that we have so much in common that we don't realize that we have. So what I realized is that there's 5 top things that most people worry about, fear about, they're not happy about, that they could improve on their lives. But yet we as people think that we're the only ones that seem to have these problems. Instead of trying to reach out and trying to get help or trying to help yourself, we seem to get back inside ourselves, we bury heads in the sand, and we seem to think, oh, okay, how am I going to get through this? I feel alone, I feel worthless, and I feel like everything is on top of me. Now, the top 5 things I've got them wrote down here are relationship breakdowns. So many people are unhappy about a relationship breakdown, and this can be something that can either make or break you, basically. I'll tell you a little bit of a story about why I decided to do it. I'm reading a book, Start From Zero. Now this talks about how to try to find out what your ideal customers want, and about trying to find and build a relationship find what is your current or present problem with being happy. That was the question I asked, and I put in a few groups on Facebook to try and find out what were the main reasons why people were unhappy. Obviously, there's the coronavirus at the minute, which there was a few answers for that about the coronavirus, but in fact, that wasn't actually one of the top answers, which I was quite shocked about, which I'm happy that people have opened up to me, people, gave me what answers I needed, basically, and if any of you are listening to this right now, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to get the information I need, and hopefully I tried to message as many people back as I possibly could, try and give them a bit of reassurance or a bit of knowledge or anything recommendation I can give, because I wanted to try and give back because they gave to me. Now, a relationship breakdown, as I say, can make or break you. Now, when I was with my ex-girlfriend, who is the mother of my daughter, we went through bad stages and everything like that, and then we ended up breaking up when my daughter was 5 months old. Now, that could either defined the moment then that I was either gonna, end up using it as a really bad negative and not end up seeing my daughter, or really, not focusing on the matter at hand, or I could have gone down the route that I did go down and think, you know what, I can survive by myself. I have a daughter, and I need to be the best that I could possibly be for my daughter. So I then made sure that we had it set that I had my daughter every single weekend, and I have her half of the holidays as well. So, this is before she went to school. Obviously, she was 5 months old. But as we come later on, I said I want a half holidays as well. Obviously, I added more, but I made sure that I didn't miss any weekends. I didn't miss anything, and I've had her loads of times, extra weeks, extra days, and it's about finding the good from what you had, finding out what you don't want from that relationship that's ended. We go through life then after that relationship, we've got all the bad points of that relationship and say, well, I don't want this person to do this, I don't want this person to do that, I don't want this person to do that. And if you're constantly saying, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this, you're not actually figuring out what you do want. So when it comes to next getting a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or whatever, you're thinking about all the traits that you don't want, so you end up having exactly the same traits as what the other girlfriend had, because that's all you're thinking about. Whereas if you're thinking about what I don't want, you've taken from that past relationship, right, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want, okay, take that back. Don't need to think about that anymore. This is what I do want, this is what I do, this is what I do want, I do want. Now, it's quite hard to say if you've been in a long relationship, if it's been an abusive relationship, or things like that, to really get over it mentally, because it's like a big chunk of your life, or it could be that they've constantly beat your self-esteem up and stuff like that. And I can see that it being one of the big issues. And I'm no expert or person who can highly recommend what to really do in a situation, but the best way I've dealt with it is by figuring out what I don't want and then going for what I do want. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather have what I want instead of what I don't want. Now, if you need help, then obviously find proper help through certain channels and certain people who can give you probably a better outlook. If it gets to that point of where you feel so depressed that you want to end your life, or you feel that depressed that you don't think you can carry on, or you can't get over that person, then there is options and there is ways to move forward. Now, the second one was feeling lost and disconnected with themselves. This was actually quite a big one. There was quite a few of these responses. So this means that they've lost who they are as an identity. At the minute, they are unsure about how they're going to live their life. They're unsure about what the future holds for them. They don't know how to sort of reconnect with themselves to find who they used to be or who they want to be. So it is a very, very saddening one, this one, actually, because we seem to think that loads of people have it made. Now, I've had this where I've totally lost my life's purpose. I've not known what I wanted to do. I felt like whatever I did, I felt worthless. I felt like it was just not a nice point in life. I wasn't depressed and I wasn't suicidal or anything. I just felt like I was lost. I felt like, what the hell am I doing in my life, and what the hell is gonna actually get me out of this rut? Now, a good way to do that is by meditating. I know it seems bad, or visualizing. Some people think of that form of, oh, bloody hell, look at all this hippie stuff. But honestly, the way to get clear and the way to really focus on what you want is by getting grounded and getting conscious of your thoughts. And one of the best ways to do that is meditating on a daily basis, or visualizing your life on a daily basis, so you know what you want. And once you know what you want, hey presto, you can start putting your steps in, you can start moving forward, you can start becoming the person that you know that is deep down, or that you know you want to become, because this idea of yourself is just going to inspire you to be the best person that you can be. The next one is not happy where they are in life right now. Now, this is obviously another big one. I've had this where, I've said about the story before when I was working in a steel warehouse, and I was constantly, just getting abused by other members of staff by throwing stuff on the floor after I've just literally just cleaned it up, and like feeling like this isn't my life, this isn't where I want to be. I've worked all these meaningless, shockingly rubbish jobs for what? For nothing, because at the end of the day, this isn't serving me and it isn't making me happy. So figuring out where you want to go from there is all about figuring out who you want to be inside. And the best way to do that is by writing a list. Another list. Write all the lists. Write all your passions down on a piece of paper. Write things that you'd love to do every single day, and the things that you'd love to, work towards, or things that would better yourself. And then find books and courses, and there's YouTube and Google, all the places that you can research about how to do that specific thing. And as soon as you take that first step, I'm not even kidding, that first step towards creating the life that you want, that's when it all starts clicking into place. And then that's when the ball starts rolling. You see, you've heard about the, ball rolling, where it's at the top of the hill. You've got that last first step, which is a steep bit. And then once you get over that first step, it starts flattening out, and then it starts going down, 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 down. And then that's when the ball starts rolling. Before you know it, your belief's up, your thinking's right, and then everything just falls into place. The next one was trauma that happened years ago, but not being able to get over it. So this could have been like a car accident. This could have been, This could have been quite a few different things. Like people have had cancers, or people have had bad misfortunes that they've not been able to get over. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, it's like living in the emotions of the past. So once something bad has happened, we seem to get the neurons connecting and thinking about the same thing over and over and over again, which then causes a mood, he says. So then what happens is that mood then may stay with you. So if you speak to someone in a couple of weeks' time and say, what's up? Oh, I've been in a mood since this happened, and it's been a couple of weeks ago. And then after a couple more weeks, it becomes a habit. And then when people are asking you, why have you got this habit? It's like, oh, well, because this happened. And you just can't seem to get over it. And then after a while, after years or months or whatever, it becomes a personality trait. So that one instant, that trauma, has now become part of your personality because it wasn't there before. So if it wasn't there before, but yet you've caused that from one trauma by thinking about it repeatedly, then it's about trying to figure out when that trauma happened, how you can then realize that you need to let go of that trauma and that trauma is not best serving you. Then you can start moving forward and start becoming better, and you can start, taking them first steps again. And just think, you never had that personality before you had that trauma. So I understand. You're probably thinking, well, it's hard. It's easy for you to say. Well, no, it's not, because there's traumas in my life that I've had to get over, and I've had to, try to be the best person I can be. And there's still things that I'm trying to work through now that is just, part of life. But it's about being conscious about it, about knowing that you want to change it, and about then putting the steps in action. You never had that trauma before, and never had that personality trait before. So you can change. You can get that and make it better. It just the only thing is, if you've been thinking about the same thing for say 5-10 years, that's a long time. So you can't change it like that overnight. It's going to take you consciously thinking about it and consciously changing every single day to the point of where it becomes a mood, that you're thinking more positive, that you're changing everything. Then it becomes a habit, and then it becomes part of your personality. So it takes a while, but what's the alternative? Being that same miserable, unhappy personality that you've got because of a trauma that doesn't serve you, that was like 10 years ago. Like literally 10 years ago. Why are you thinking about the same thing 10 years ago? It's not worth it. You're living your life in the past. You're living life in regret. You're living your life, unhappy, unfulfilled. When you can take these steps forward, break away from that personality, break away from them old traumas and limiting beliefs to move forward to becoming better. Now, the last one was financial difficulties. This is on like loads of people's agenda. Like, it isn't a nice place to be, and it is very scary, and it can be feeling like the world is on top of you, and you feel like everything is just against you, which this time at the minute with Corona and people not being able to work and losing jobs, and it is a very, very, very trying time, and it is a very eye-opening time as well, I believe. I believe that these days, everything's not safe. Everything's not secure. So if everything isn't safe, even the jobs that we thought were safe, be employed because it's safe, get a job because it's safe, then even they're not secure. So why not now take this opportunity to start finding your true passions, to finding what you love, to finding what you desire out of life, to what you really want to focus on, and never be in the same situation again. Because you can then control your own finances, you can control your own life, and you can control everything about it. So you becoming your own boss, or becoming like a person who people would want to have, or people come towards to say you've got a certain expertise that will never go out of date, or something like that you really love doing, and hey presto, that's what I recommend anyway. I'd say to be fully financially free, you need to figure out where you want to take your life, what position, say if it is a job that you really truly want to do, if you don't be self-employed, what position in life that you know that you'd be happy to work as, and then just go for it. Because these times have shown us we do not have the security, we do not have, that safety net, as they call it. And because now the world is, printing money like, here you go, here's £6 trillion. Where's that coming from? I love it. I proper love it. I think, right. So what you're telling me is that you can bail people out, and they're putting £6 trillion to one side to give everyone this money, but where's that money coming from? Because it's not being printed. This £6 trillion is magically spun out of thin air on a computer saying, right then, this is what you can spend. And where's it going to come from? It's going to come from the economy. It's going to be coming from our pockets. So we're going to get even tighter pockets. We're going to get even more backlash from them giving away all this money. That's what they're doing. They're just flicking it out, just making the money from nothing. So if the time is now for you to realize that we need to change, we need to create the lives that we want and how we want to live without worrying about other people's judgments, without, being scared that we might fail. We might fail. Who cares? Who cares? It's going to make you stronger in the long run. So that's it for today anyway, guys. I've done the 5 top things that I've learned, and yeah, I hope it's kind of give you a bit of ease that you're not the only one. Obviously, there's loads and loads more other reasons why people are unhappy, but these are the top 5 that I found, and just to show you that there is loads of people who have gone through the same things. So if we can try and connect and try to, realize that it's not just our problems. We haven't got the weight of the world just on our shoulders. Like other people have had the same situations, to try and ask other people how they got out of it or how they managed to cope with happiness and whatever else. The world would be a better place because we could all connect and try to realize that it's our lives, we control it. So let's take action to make sure it's better. All right, before you go, guys, I just want to tell you about the course I'm doing. It is at freedomliveschool.com/free-live-workshop. If you fill out one question, press submit, and you get to experience the course for free. Now, it is a 6-week course, as I said. So, in the 6 weeks is a transformative course on how to reconnect with yourself to find happiness without other people's judgments. Great course. It's going to transform your life. I just want to make sure that there's everything that I could possibly think of that's in the course. That's why I'm asking people just to fill out this one question, and then hey presto, once it's all finished and finalized, you get to use the course for free. If you want to also like this, subscribe, wherever you're on, follow me, then that would be great as well. I'd really appreciate it because it helps the channel grow. And that's it. Thanks for today, guys, and I'll see you again soon.